our grains that we're going to use or our extracts that we're going to use to make that beer to get that flavor and that color profile. So there are different extracts. You can get extracts that are darker in color than this, and you can blend them. This is a Pilsner Light. You can get a Munich and blend a Munich in, get a little bit more maltiness and a little darker color. Now what we got is a dark sample coming around. So the dark sample is your roasted barley. This is what makes Guinness Guinness. In all seriousness. So this is used to make porters. It's used to make some of the stouts, most of the stouts. It's probably not ideal in a brown because it's probably too acrid for a brown. You probably want to go with a brown ale to actually make a brown, or a brown malt to make a brown ale. But this is what makes a Guinness to Guinness. They use a lot of roasted barley in it. Particularly smell it. Yeah, like weak coffee. Potent?
Yeah. No, I mean, just the flavor, I mean, the profile is just...
Is it sweet? It's not really sweet though, is it?
I'm not getting any sweetness.
All right, I hate to say this, but are there any smokers in here?
Yeah.
Do you see it being less flavorful to you? Because sometimes people that smoke don't get that acrid flavor quite as much. It's sometimes a little tobacco-y and a little bit like the smokiness that you can get kind of.
It's got a cigar kind of, almost a little bit of cigar. It's definitely got a tobacco in there.
Yeah, yeah.
But it's pretty strong. I mean,
Okay.
I'm also not a heavy smoker.
Okay.
I mean, every now and then. So
Yeah. So Andrew, you're getting it too?
Yeah, it tastes kind of bitter and burnt and smoky.
Good. Okay. Because sometimes if you smoke a lot, you get accustomed to that smoke flavor, and you won't pick those up quite as easily as non-smokers. So I'm glad you guys are able to.
it's there's a familiarity though that I can't pinpoint. That I can't.
There's a tobacco-y in there too. There's definitely in the background. If you get a good soft tobacco note, I mean that's definitely in there. There's a smokiness in there too.
There's a nuttiness, like almost like the shell of a nut, like the film or the.
Particularly like a black walnut.
Yes, that's what it is. It's killing me.
Yep.
All right.
Yep. So again, that's just adding more different flavor into the beer. And this is something that we can use in those dark, rich stouts. And people think that a Guinness is just so high in alcohol, it just hits them. But they're not. They're like 4.5 to 5%. But you're picking this dark flavor up, and you think it's got to have more alcohol in it because it's got more flavor, more character. And that's not the case at all. All right. So those kind of show you the potential far extremes of blending different malt flavors to get different flavors into beers. And recipes are going to use a myriad of them. You can see that every one of these blue bins and these bags up here are all different malt styles. We get really stupid crazy when we geek out. And some people even say, well, a C60 from Belgium is much different than a C60 from the US. So they'll go with the Belgium C60 because they think that flavor profile might be a little bit different than what we get in the US because it's a different variety of barley, it's a different malt style, and it could be a very different way that they kiln it that could actually influence the flavors. Okay, so yeah, go ahead, Tyler.
When you're steeping, does it matter if the bag is sitting just flat on the bottom against the source of heat, or do you try to lift it up?
Fantastic question. Does it matter if when we're steeping, if the bag is setting down at the bottom or if it's lifted up a little bit? I turn the heat element off, and then it really doesn't matter too great. But if you keep your heat element on, keep it up off of the bottom of the pot so it doesn't scorch. You don't want it to scorch and burn. So I turned it off intentionally, but beyond that, it does not matter. You can also code steep. So last night we could have put our grains into the water and put it in the fridge, and we could have basically let it set overnight and had this step completely done already. There are some individuals that believe